draw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, 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 la 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 la, la 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 la, oh, oh. 6 a.m. and I'm up again.
Video went viral. People were messaging, they were asking, they were just writing, and they wanted to see you more. They want to see you again. They want to hear more about what you have to say. Come on, you're 5-time best-selling author, you're speaker, you're public figure, and also you are the founder of the She Rises. What?
Yes.
What else you don't do? It will be easier for me to kind of list what you don't do than what you do actually in your life. So please, we want to know more about She Rises movement, this foundation, because we've heard so many good things about it. Now here we are sitting with the founder and the president of the She Rises movement. Tell us about it. What was your why of that movement?
Well, She Rises, yes, so I'm the founder of She Rises here in Minnesota, and it was birthed out of my own story of pain and brokenness, and I just really believe that what is produced in you is then produced through you. And so just the transformation that took place, the healing and the wholeness and just identity, all of those things that took place on the inside of me, I wanted every woman to know that. And so the mission of She Rises is for every woman to know who they are, their identity, and to set aside anything that would be holding them back from stepping into their fullest potential.
That is very, very instrumental. And also, Susan, why there's so many people right now talking to particularly to the women and their confidence and their identity? What do you think had happened that women or women lost that? What caused that revolution, or what caused that destruction in women, that we talk more about our identity than ever before?
Well, I think that identity, the attack on the identity of a woman, I mean, that goes back all the way to Genesis, right? So we could trace it all the way back there, and it's just been this ongoing thing, this attack that is always against the woman and who she is. And then I feel like just as, the world has evolved, and now with, just social media and all of those different things, you can't even get through the grocery store, and there's magazines, telling you to do this and firm up that and do, it's like a lot, right? We could have our own little drugstore in our house, and those aren't bad, but even if I do have wrinkles and I'm old and I'm, whatever is going on in my life, that doesn't define me. I'm not defined by my past. I'm not defined by what other people think of me. Those things, they don't define my future. My future is already secure. My identity is already secure. And so I think that, I just think that identity, the battle is always going on in the mind. And so it's that renewal of the mind. And then I think also getting to the root of, why are you listening to that lie? Why are you so trapped and contained? Why are you so just bound in believing that lie? And I think for me, when I was able to really get to the root of that why, that's when freedom really started to take place in my life.
That is, I think, very important for the women to also know what causes that revolution, why there's so many things out there that are attacking our self-image. Yes, it really attacks our self-image, self-confidence. As a woman, when we see so many commercialism, we see the social media, everything is formed up, everything is blown up, out of proportion physically. And unfortunately, women get trapped into that lie. Every woman, not every, but women usually think if they blow up their parts, they're going to get more attractive. They're going to get more valued. They're going to get more, respected in the society. It may last for a certain period of time, but it wears off. You know, I believe that a woman needs to invest in herself internally and radiate her joy and happiness from within herself. And I wish there was a university in the planet that will teach women how to be women, right? I wish there, and probably she's not surrounded by the right people who tell her wrong thing, who kind of always attack her. Yes, every woman is a mother. What does motherhood mean? Busy, right? She doesn't have time to get herself, you know, take care of herself. She doesn't have time to so many things, to education, to investment into herself, to development. And she's being attacked by maybe her spouse, maybe her loved ones. And that's are the ones who pretty much make you feel like unworthy. So how would you address that epidemic, I would say, from the people that women are surrounded by, who are draining her down and killing her dreams?
That's a great question. You know, and if I'm going to be completely honest, that's one of the reasons why I'm not always super thrilled to go back home. I live here in the metro, but home for me is southern Minnesota. And so, you know, for those folks living back home, and the reason I go home is because we have family that's still our parents, you know, and so we go home to visit. But for people that knew me back then, it's kind of like people want to keep you in that chapter, you know, when they almost, it's like they refuse to see that you've changed and you're not who you once were, that you're not even in that book anymore. You're like living, you know, you're living transformed. And so I think that just getting confident in my security is in who I am in Christ. And even though some people want to, you know, remind me of what I've done, the places that I've been, and I'm very open about that. You know, I share my story a lot. I've, you know, been a lot of places I had no business being. I've said a lot of things that I can't take back, done a lot of things that caused a lot of regret and shame in my life, and a lot of things have been done to me that no one should ever have done to them. But I'm not her. That's not who I am. Those things don't define me. But when people want to keep me contained in that part of my past, they don't get to have a voice in my life. And I think that really understanding for women that, man, you can take your power that you have given to those people, you can take that away. Like, don't misplace your power. Don't misplace your power. I think that we have been given just this wonderful power in the power to choose. The power to choose. Who gets to be the loudest voice in my life? Who gets to speak into my life? Who gets to sit in the front row of my life? Some people, they're in the balcony. Some people, they're not even in the building. So I just think that it's really important. And I think it's a part of honoring yourself. It's a part of having known your value and your worth. I don't think it's a pride. I don't think that it's I'm all that in a bag of chips, because clearly I know I'm not. But I'm not who I once was either. And I'm sorry that you want to keep me there, but I'm not gonna attend that little party. So.
And you know, this is important to recognize your values. And like, you know, even like Bible says, right, the prophet is not going to be honored in its own place. So yes, like you said, it's perfect analogy when you said that when you go back, they see you as a person before you left. And they want to contain you. They do not accept you for who you are right now, how you have changed, how you have transformed your life. This is different chapter you live in. So you go there and they remind you of the past. They remind you of who you were, and you're like, that's not me anymore. I was there, but I'm not there anymore. And that's why you feel a little bit like unease maybe going there. And that's why lots of people also associate with, I don't want to go back to my family. They associate themselves with that past. They want to keep themselves in that moment, and they're not there anymore. And what is the true beauty to you?
True beauty to me is, again, I know I keep saying this, but it's not defined by anything in this world. Beauty, I think, is living as your authentic self. Your authentic self, like, who you are and living unapologetically in that true, authentic version of how you were created. And anything that wants to pull you away from that is going to create just this ideal in our lives where we're then beginning to live lower, just a little bit beneath who we really are, that authentic version of ourselves. And I think that that creates a lot of just oppression and a lot of depression and a lot of just feeling like we're being suffocated and contained because we're not living up to that fullest potential. You know, we were never created to just wander through life aimlessly and just wonder why we're here. We were created with and for a purpose, and part of that is really living as your authentic self. And so if I were to say what is the definition of true beauty has nothing to do with, you know, do I have every hair in place and is my lipstick on? It has nothing to do with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we like good hair, right? Yes. We like good hair, and I'm all about the lipstick. But I think that if I were to define beauty, it's living as your authentic self.
Yes, I love it. I know Dostoevsky said that the beauty is going to save the world, and what he meant by internal beauty, because I know that there's a women, they need to have kindness inside of themselves to radiate that in life. And I've met most amazing people in the world whose energy was greater than their external beauty, but they were so beautiful to me because of who they were.
Yeah.
You know, they're confident inside of them, their joy. I wanted to be more with a women like this or with a people like that who radiate that energy, that personality, versus with people who are like probably sitting over there acting like divas, right? And commanding attentions. And there's a difference between being diva and being the confident.
Yes.
Divas, they demand attentions, and people in confidence, they get attention.
Yes.
They don't need to do anything. They need to be humble, they need to be kind, they need to have a joy inside of them, and that's how they're gonna gravitate toward themselves. So if you're a woman out there, we wanna say you one thing. There's a prayer that I said and I write and I use a lot. I use it in a book. Sometimes you may be too beautiful, too bright, too smart for the man. And it makes any man feel like less than a man. And instead of you being like a woman who you are right now, it makes you to remove the jewel from your crown. When it happens, I want you to realize that. Instead of removing the jewel from your crown to help your man to carry you, find a man with the bigger hands who can accept who you are with the crown on your head. Don't settle yourself short. That's what I wanted to say. You have values, you have dreams, you have ambitions, you have goals. Don't remove them from your life for somebody else to handle you, to be around you and appreciate you. No. You're so valuable. You're more worthy than you can ever imagine. And that's the message that I want every woman to know. Every mother, every single mother, every divorced woman, anybody who's struggling with a relationship, to know that don't settle for less. If they see the red flags, if they're being devalued or mistreated, you know, look at yourself. Are you worthy of that? You know, it's side effects. You know, then there's relationships that make you feel so weak, and then your kids see that. People around you see that you're not appreciated, that you're so drained.
Yeah, totally. There's so much I could say there. My husband, you know, we've been married this year. We will be married 32 years, and my husband, he is very much behind the scenes in my ministry of She Rises. I always call him my wingman, and you know, he does all the tech stuff. Shout out to all the tech people that make us sound good, right? Yes. Totally not my wheelhouse, but God bless those people that are gifted there. We need you and we love you. But you know, over the years, I'm in, you know, active ministry. This is my 20th year of speaking, and you know, many different platforms. And sometimes people will accuse me of being a feminist, or I need to be more respectful of my husband and he's the leader and I need to be more submissive and all of that. First of all, my husband is very confident in his role.
Yeah.
And I am respectful of him. He doesn't need me to pastor him. I don't, coach him, or, I don't throw the Bible at him at home. But I think that there's something so, to your point, something so powerful when women can enter into a relationship with a confident man who can understand that she has gifts and she has potential, and he is so confident in his own skin and in his own role that he is willing to support her and watch her soar. And he doesn't feel disrespected. He's not insecure. My husband has always been, you go, girl. God has called you for this, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. Totally. I think that if I were to say to the single woman out there, the single mom, maybe you're looking for that special man. I just want to encourage women too that you are worthy of being loved well and cared for deeply. You're worthy of that. You're worthy of someone to appreciate you and value you. When my husband came into my life, I had been through a string of unhealthy relationships. Party girl, running all over the place, and that was how I coped with all of the pain that was going on inside me, because freedom is an inside deal.
Yes.
And so when he came into my life, he was just this steady Eddie, just very supportive and very kind. He didn't yell at me, he didn't talk down to me, he was not into the party scene, but yet he just sort of pursued me, and I didn't know what to do with that. I thought he was a great guy, you're nice and all of that, but I don't know, why do you keep showing up at my workplace? When I'm done, I'm clocked out for the day, and there you are in the parking lot. Are you a stalker? What is your deal here? But he pursued me, and he really began to show me what treating a woman looks like, what it sounds like, and what it's supposed to feel like. And so here we are, 32 years later, and so I would just say yes to your point that you are valuable and you are worthy of being treated as such.
This is important, like you said, right? Men has to have a confidence, before pursuing the woman, so they will not feel threatened, because women have also dreams. But it's collaboration. It's not a competition. Marriage is not a competition. Relationship is not a competition. It's how you can enhance your gifts and support one another with your exchange with the gifts to help each other fulfill your dreams. And that's the goal. That's exactly what you said. He had the confidence. He knew exactly who he was, or who he is right now, and he supports you 100%. And that's what I want every woman to do, and to know, and to find, to attract that the right person in their lives. And I think everybody deserves the happiness, including men.
Right.
Men also need to have the right person by their side as well, and that's how we will all be happy, because I want to see the thriving families. I want to see thriving marriages, because statistics is right now 50%. Now it's more than 50% of marriages end up with a divorce. We don't want that. We want families. We want happy families, healthy kids, to pass the right generation, right standards, expectation, the values to the rest of the world. We need that. We don't want this social media that completely so disruptive, corruptive, and so so much lust out there. It's not good for the eye of the men and women as well. So ladies out there, please, I wanted to message you right now and just let you know, if there's something, including the social media, is right now is hindering you to grow and know who you are, can you just take 7 days fasting from the social media? Just remove completely away from your side, from your daily routine. Just block that for 7 days, so you'll be able to declutter and detox your thoughts, your life, and understand who you really are, what you really are, who you represent, how important you are, and you can create your dreams, your reality you will be living in. It's okay to say no to those toxic relationships, toxic people in your life. You're not that desperate to go after them or after him, after that. No, you're not too desperate. You're too valuable. You're too worthy to be too desperate to go after, to settle in your life. And that's what She Rises is, all about, right? To give confidence to the women.
Right. Yeah, totally. Again, just setting aside anything that would be holding them back from stepping into that and living that truth. And to set aside the lies, set aside the opinions, set aside whatever your past looks like, whatever it is. And I think that it starts with our young daughters. Really, truly, it does.
Yes.
Being a mom, it starts with our young daughters, reaching them and beginning to tell them and speak the truth into their lives of who they are, and so that you don't have to find your identity in another relationship or in that certain group of friends or what have you. But yeah, I think that just what God is doing through She Rises is just incredible, and the transformation that is taking place in women's lives. And again, to my point earlier, freedom is an inside deal. Mm-hmm. And so it happens in here. And again, just getting to that root of why do I keep repeating these cyclical type toxic behaviors, and why do I keep seeking out these types of relationships that aren't good for me? Why do I keep repeating these things? And so if we can really get to the root of that, I know that's really my story, is getting, like I said earlier, getting to the root of those things so that we can begin to rise up from those ashes and begin to thrive in who we are, and saying no, to your point, saying no to those toxic things, saying no to that mindset, to that narrative, closing those doors. Sometimes I think the greatest closure that we need is we get up and we shut the door ourselves.
Exactly. Yes. Be bold enough and, unapologetic, and, just do it ourselves, because nobody else can do it for you.
Right.
As a personal trainer, I cannot do the push-ups for them and wanting for them to lose weight. It doesn't work this way. There's certain work that we have to do ourselves. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be maybe difficult. It will be for a while, but it will be so much worthy. So Susan, last time you gave a powerful message to everybody out there. Today I want to do the same thing. I want you to look at the camera and talk to this young woman who is right now struggling with maybe relationships and maybe finding who she is right now. What would you want to tell her right now?
Well, I would just humbly speak into your life, and I would I often refer to something as a filter, filtering when I sit with women and they share with me, some things that they're feeling in particular relationships. And so really beginning to filter, how do you feel when you're around that person? When you leave their presence, do you feel championed forward? Do you feel spurred on? Do you feel lifted? Do you feel encouraged? Do you feel valued? Do you feel worthy? Or do you feel suppressed? Do you feel like your voice is silenced? Are they constantly throwing your past in your face? Are they reminding you of what you've done? Those are what I refer to as filters. And beginning to unapologetically say to yourself, you know what? I am worthy of more. And I have value, and I know that there are relationships out there that are going to be that in my life, that they are going to champion me forward, that they're not going to be jealous of me. They're going to help me reach higher in my faith. They're going to help me take footsteps into in my dreams, and they're going to help me to believe bigger and to dream bigger, to pray bigger, to just to really rise up from anything that the world has tried to push you down in. You're worthy of having that kind of community around you. Isolation is not your portion, and toxic relationships is not your portion. You were created for a healthy community, and it's out there, and it's okay. I've been there myself, that I was willing to go through a season of loneliness in order to have the right people around me. And I am so thankful that I was willing to go through that really hard season, because I have some really healthy people around me right now that believe in me, they're believing for me, they're not jealous of me, and they champion me forward in the things that I am purposed to do on this world, in this world. And you are worthy of that same community.
That is so powerful. I absolutely loved it, Susan. You really unleashed yourself and talked to the woman with a passion and with your energy to her. And Coco Chanel says this, you know, there are some people who have money and some people who are rich. What makes you rich?
What makes me rich?
Because rich is something that I feel myself that I'm rich because I have something money cannot buy.
Amen.
And I know you're rich, so what makes you rich?
I think that it's what's inside me. It's like, again, I feel like I keep saying it, it's almost redundant. It's like, no, I know who I am. And so I'm not trying to look out over here. I am rich because I know who I am. And I am rich because not how much money I have in my bank account, how many followers I have on social media, how many people read my books or attend my events. No. I am rich because I know who I am, and nobody can take that from me.
Amen to this. And like as Leo Tolstoy said, if you want to be happy, be. The power is yours, guys. So we'll see you next time. That was Ilona from Ilona Show. I want you to be resilient and